What's up, folks? It's 2bricks, and it is a new LEGO release season, and thankfully some of my sets have finally started to arrive in the mail so I can build and review them for you guys. So very excited about this wave of LEGO Star Wars. I was not able to get all of the sets at once because when I added them all to my cart, they totaled over $800, and I just simply don't have that kind of money to just be dropping on a single wave of LEGO Star Wars sets. So I started with the ones that I was most interested in, and I've built a few of them, and I'm reviewing the first one that I'm most interested in for you guys because I think this is a fantastic set. It's by far my favorite of the wave, and I'm really excited to talk about it. So today I'm going to be showing you in-depth review of the features, the aesthetics, and the things that I really enjoy about this model. We'll take a look at the minifigure. I'll give you a quick overview of the instruction manual and stuff like that. Anything worth noting in the parts list, the spare parts here, and then I'll give you my conclusion. So let's dive in and take a look at this excellent Star Destroyer model. So taking a quick look at the spares parts, here we have the blue syringe, which I really like. Roller skate piece, really useful. One of Vader's bottom jaw pieces there for his helmet, which I like to try to find interesting uses for in custom builds. A thermal detonator, and then a bunch of just sort of other stuff. This is not technically a spare, it goes with the stand, but I never end up actually using it to connect any of them together. But there's that. You got your brick separator, and here is your sticker sheet. Most of these are not really super duper useful or necessary, and they're clear backed, so they're kind of a pain to put on. You have to really press down on them a bunch of times to get the bubbles out and make them sit flat. We'll take a look at those in the set, but I don't think any of these really add to the overall display value of the thing as a set outwardly, so I think that they're pretty forgivable to include. Nothing fancy about the instruction manual other than the fact that it is super thick. Don't forget to get your free 20 bonus VIP points by registering your set. And I did note that the parts were outlined in yellow, which I feel like is not super standard, and in some cases made it a little bit harder for me to see what I was supposed to put on next. But I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy. I just feel like yellow is not a super common color for the outlines for LEGO parts, but whatever. It's a nice chunky instruction manual, as you can see, so a very substantial build here. And putting the Cal Kestis figure to the side temporarily, I just wanted to show you here the exterior view of the Star Destroyer, which in my opinion is excellent. I think that this thing displays super well, and there's something about having it in your hand and swishing it around and kind of feeling all the different greeblies and angles and things on this thing. It just feels so very satisfying, and I don't even really know why, but it just works so well. And the proportions feel excellent to me as well. It feels nice and sharp here at the front. I've actually never had a official LEGO Star Destroyer before, so this has been a really interesting one for me. And I'm wondering if all the other ones I've done have been this good. Somehow I doubt it. I think this feels like the premium of the evolution of this kind of type of set. Yeah, everything comes apart and you can open it all up, which I'll do in just a second here, but I just wanted to quickly call attention to, like, look at all the little details along the sides here for the different levels of the decks. Look at all the different shapes that are intersecting in here with different kinds of wedge plates stacked up to give you just slight variations throughout the different levels there. Feels really satisfying. This little activator here, which will shoot off the missile, is nicely hidden away, so when it's and it's even flatter down when the actual missile is not loaded. Just pop that back in so you can see there it pops up. And then the cannons and everything feel really nice and well detailed. They're a little bit overscaled for this model, but I mean, they look great, and the ability to do this little action feature here it just feels so satisfying. And you can do both at once. I like that they designed it with this little tab that has a slope off of the end here, so you can kind of grip both sides with the finger easily and do both rows of cannons at once. And then the bridge feels super premium and deluxe as well, with all of the different little clip details, the little subtle angles that they put in here to bring everything together slightly. I really like the use of these sort of crystal ball type pieces in gray here for the shield generators. And then it all just feels nicely finished out. The engine details also look really nice. Initially, I was questioning the use of these wheel pieces as perhaps looking a little too busy for the engine blue glow back here, but once you actually complete the model, I think that was the right choice because they have a lot of visual punch compared to like a trans blue dish pieces or something that you'd normally see used for this purpose here. So I think this was actually a really good idea, and it gives it that sort of really active feel, like the engines are really firing off. You can kind of imagine the thrust coming out in this direction, so that's very cool. And overall, I just think that basically every decision here was made correctly as far as the exterior display goes. We do have the one external sticker here, that's for the bridge. And I think that it works absolutely fine without it. You could totally imagine the bridge being in this grilled section here if you wanted to leave that off, or if you mess up on the sticker. I think that's totally fine. But yeah, just the actual visual impressiveness of this makes me almost just want to display this as a display piece and not just consider it to be a playset, which is a real win for Lego sets these days. So yeah, super happy with that. So let's take a look at the interior. So one little bit of interior space is this little opening flap back here where you can just store 2 extra shots for your spring-loaded shooter missiles, and they don't like stud in or clip in or anything like that. They're just placed into this hollow gap, which is created in here by 2 panel pieces, and then you close this up and that's that. And then this whole section right here just lifts off, and it's just kind of like very loosely attached, and sometimes it can catch. Wait, let me see here. What's catching? There you go. So yeah, the handle piece can sometimes catch on that, but the whole bridge is very satisfyingly built. So it has the angle set by having 2 different sets of clips at different heights that keep it clipped in at the exact right angle. And then this opening section right here is how you access your carry handle. So if I just place this back really quick, you can see right in there, this just lifts up and then your carry handle comes out of there. So that's really convenient because the carry handle is a very useful thing to have for a large playset like this, to be able to, you know, not have to worry about where you grab it from to lift it, even though this is very sturdy. But being able to have this be function and also tucked away underneath this little kind of opening door flap here, it's just great. And I like the extra kind of visual detail that these hinge pieces give to the build overall. I think that it just, everything about it works as well as it's supposed to, and is a great decision process there. So obviously you open this up and then the entire front and sides here lift up on 2 planes, so they hinge on the bottom and they hinge on the side here to give you this full open interior. And you can see here that all of the minifigures that are included in the set are integrated into the scene, and it all feels very right and proper. So with all of the figs removed, I just wanted to give you a look at the full interior here. So we have 2 different console sticker pieces here, which are attached to slopes, and then 2 seats down here for the sort of trenches on the other side of what is supposed to represent the bridge area. So I'm sorry, there's a dog fur right there. So this is the gangplank walkway thing that sits above all of the workers in most of those scenes that we see in Imperial bridges. And then down here is where all of the officers and whoever, vice admirals and whatnot, will sit down in here and do all their strategizing and looking at monitors and screens and pushing buttons. So then we have display screens off to the sides as well. So once again, these are the clearback stickers so that they don't have the greatest clarity on the gray. The black kind of does shine through quite a bit, but if you really push these down a bunch, and you can use your brick separator on the surface here to burnish them a little bit, to basically try to remove the air bubbles as much as possible. They do look, okay. They don't look great, but that's clearback stickers. That's one of the drawbacks. So yeah, we have, a bevy of different control console pieces everywhere here to try to really make this look like an intelligence center where a lot of things are happening. And I really do appreciate that these are all uniquely detailed panel pieces as well. They're not just the same pattern repeated, which they easily could have done. Well, actually these 2 are repeated, but then you have larger panels back here with unique stickers versus the front there. So anyway, this is the front bridge section here. I like it a lot, and you have room to place your Vader and 2 officers sitting down in here, and then 2 standing on this little bit of room down at the front here. Obviously though, those will have to be removed, the standing figures, when you close this up. And then moving back here, we have a little kind of officer's quarters kind of a situation. So there's a little clip there for his gun. He's got a data pad on his desk and a little coffee mug. He's sitting here exasperated, trying to figure out where the rebels are at and what they're doing, and just drinking mug after mug of coffee. So I really appreciate that. We have a little storage area here back with some crates. So inside of those crates are a pair of sort of snow binoculars and a couple of thermal detonators here in the Imperial insignia crate, the one with all of the different nice printed markings on the outside. So I like that a lot. And then those are just attached in here with a single stud each, so they're pretty easy to remove. We have a console over here, and that's mirrored over on the other side right there. And then we have this kind of a wall of data bank type screens that are designed to be removable. They're, again, only attached with a single stud. And so I think the intention here is that you can set up different spaces within the ship to act as meeting rooms. These are sort of like really handy little dividers that you can place around to divide up the fairly open space here in whatever way you see fit. I think that's really great. Let me just show you the prints on these, or the stickers rather. So these are the reasons why the entire set has clearback stickers in them, so that they could go on this transparent piece. So we have a graphic here showing that there's some sort of issue with one of the ship's engines, and perhaps a readout for the weapons display. And maybe here on the left you can see some rebel ships are coming in for an attack. So this is definitely like a sort of all hands on deck, important information graphic here, and I like that a lot. And then on the second one here, we have some info about TIE fighters. Presumably, again, the red indicating there's some sort of issue. So maybe they've deployed a squadron of TIE fighters to deal with the rebels, and one of the ships has taken critical damage. Another one has been destroyed, and then there are two that are still active on the field. So that's really cool. I like that there's actual storytelling in these graphics. And you know, this could be sort of an overall meta-analysis of how the battle is proceeding. So red representing how the bad guys are doing, and white representing how the Empire is doing. You know, because from their perspective, they're the good guys. But yeah, I really enjoy both of these graphics. They're not your standard just like whatever squiggly lines type of graphics that just show you some various Star Wars-y shapes. They actually give you some inbuilt storytelling, so that's really cool. And then I like that they just tuck away back here, and you know, if you want to leave them in their default positions, they just act as a nice little wall of display screens there. And then as you move back towards the other side of this open space, you have a little weapons rack on the wall, which I like because it just, you know, fills that space up with something that feels useful. And we have a tiny little sort of a med station in here, so that's where the blue syringe is used. And again, another console on the wall, and a little sort of cold storage unit type thing you can imagine, with some medical serum in it. So that's just literally a blue 1x1 cylinder with a tile on the cap of it, and then a tiny little mouse droid over here, which I think is the closest to a minifigure scale mouse droid I've ever seen. They don't actually call it out as part of the like a special, you know, minifigure in the build or anything like that, but that's definitely what that's supposed to be. So I'm going to be adding that to my minifigure wall, whether it's an official one or not, because that's great. And the final thing to see here is this sort of holographic display, which again is showing you have some red indicating, I guess, enemy forces. So I guess this red brick represents an enemy corvette of some sort, or an enemy capital ship. And then here, this is a representation obviously for the Star Destroyer with this nice diamond-shaped piece. And they're all just held in there with these clear pieces. This is eerily similar to what I did for my Stinger Mantis holo display table, which is, it's making me think of it as well because we have the Cal Kestis figure in this set. So I already have Stinger Mantis on the mind, but it's really funny. And if Lego is indeed taking inspiration from mock makers to make their sets more interesting, I love it. I'm all here for it. So I like this on a turntable, so you can kind of have it, you know, imagine it slowly spinning around for all of the participants in this impromptu meeting to take a look at the battle progress. It just feels like a nice, again, like a proper thing that you would have in a Star Destroyer. It doesn't feel like you just shoved in a bunch of stuff just to fill the space. It actually feels purposeful to what you would expect to see in a Star Destroyer, so I love it. So one element of this that I think is kind of distracting is the massive amount of undersides of plates that you're seeing in here when this is folded out. But fortunately, Lego thought about this, and I actually have you attach the wings only using these 4 Technic pins on either side, which are the kind that are designed to be easily removed. So you can literally just remove this entire wing assembly super easily. And if you don't have a ton of space, like if you're a kid and you really want to, you know, play and make pretend with the inside of your Star Destroyer here, you can lay this out on a smaller area, take off the wings, and it's a little bit more of an immersive feel because you don't have all this extra unusable space out here. You can really concentrate on what is available, and B, it's just a little bit, you know, more visually appealing without, again, all the anti-studs on the underside of this kind of just laid out flat. So I think that really does help with the immersion of imaginative play, and I just think that's such a nice touch. Like this definitely could have simply been a decision that's like, for ease of attaching the wings at the end, you just stick them in with these 2 pins, but I feel like that is part of the consideration, is the ability to remove those wings, and I really love that. So and as far as distracting things, I mean, there's really not a lot. There's some blue, yellow and red dotted around, but for the most part, this interior feels pretty fully immersive and like a real play space. The gaps down here, especially with the wings removed, are a little bit on the distracting side as far as like how much space was required under here to be able to actually get the Star Destroyer to be configured the way that it should be. But I actually think that that's perfectly valid, and the amount of space that you have to place figures and the amount of tiled areas versus studded that allows you to place figures at off angles it all just feels perfectly tooled into exactly what I would want to see for a playset. So I actually have no complaints. I think the interior is super well done, especially for what you're getting here in terms of like the size of the overall model. The usable interior space feels really, really deluxe. I'm just taking a quick look at the underside here. So mostly black and gray. I'm not really sure why they chose to include those two black plates down in there at the back, the 2x2, when all the rest is kind of gray and dark gray, but whatever. It is what it is. But you can see here that the actual like playable space, like I was saying in here, is it feels pretty deluxe considering how much of the build is taken up with those external plates there, right? That just extend off and create the structure. But the actual interior that's usable here feels very nice. And I think that having the bottom be flattened off is absolutely the correct decision, because you're not going to be able to play with this thing if it has the correct full diamond shape, right? It needs to have a flat bottom to be able to be used as a playset, and that's what this is. So absolutely no issues with that. But what I would like to see is a kind of maybe some mock makers, maybe me, to create a kind of an additional stand that goes under here, and then that does give you the option to finish off the shape fully, so that this can be sitting on a stand so you can still play with it and have the full capacity of the, the full visuals of the Star Destroyer kind of complete under here. So I don't know, that's something I might play around with, but yeah, overall I think again all the decisions were made completely correctly for what this is trying to be, and that is a Star Destroyer playset. And then taking a look at the figures here. So first up we have Darth Vader in his very premium attire here with the arm printing, the very luxurious full leg printing going all the way down there for all of the armor plating and stuff. He's got the two-part helmet, of course, as is the modern standard, and we have the angry Vader face, which is very suitable for this time period that he's in, where he's surrounded by Imperial incompetence that he just wants to choke every day. And he's got the old style of starched paper cape, which I'm fine with. I don't know why they keep switching back and forth. I think they should choose one. And then the very simple but effective printing back here for the armor plates, and a little bit of wrinkles for his robes that go around his suit. So yeah, that's a very nice premium Vader, probably the most kind of best quality standard Vader that they have, which is included in this one, so that's very nice. Next up here we have a named character. This is Commander Praji. I have not heard of this Imperial, but I'm not one of those people who knows all of the background Imperials by name. But it's always nice to get a named Imperial, because they're just not another faceless goon. So he has very specific detailing in here with all of his insignia, I'm sure, for all of his different battle achievements and stuff, and the little kind of Imperial code cylinders in here that just look like pens in the pockets of Imperials. So yeah, he's cool, and he doesn't have a double-sided face, of course, because he's got the cap there that would show that in the back of his head. I don't know if he's actually supposed to be a bald character or not, but these caps don't really allow for hair to be present, of course. And that's totally fine. I don't think they need to make a dual-molded Imperial cap or anything like that. This one looks absolutely fine, and I really like the little printed insignia on the hat itself. So there is your Commander Praji. You have a Imperial crew member here, so he's just a guy. He's just a guy who does stuff in the crew. He's got a little communications device there on his ear, which I like, to show that he's very busy and talking to people and coordinating things. He probably has a clipboard. And then I like his very practical looking robes here. They actually look quite comfy, and it's got the big patch pockets down there on his knees. And the printing for this is really nice and crisp. And yeah, this is a good figure. I think this is a really useful background Imperial one, because he's so kind of blandly generic, yet nicely done and good looking. So there's that. Then we have our olive-skinned, what is this figure? Imperial Navy Trooper. So yeah, olive-skinned Imperial Navy Trooper here is a win, because the skin tone differentiates enough from the other ones in the background, and I like that it makes it feel unique. We have a actual double-sided face for this one. So you can see in there, we have the more angry scowl expression. That's kind of a standard set of expressions that we see now. So more kind of action ready and more placid. And what I like about this is you could actually switch it out for a Imperial or for a Rebellion Trooper and put one of those put one of those white helmets on this guy and the chin straps would work just fine. So you have kind of extra usability out of that headpiece. And he comes with the medium-sized blaster there. And again, you know, standard kind of detailing there for the Imperial uniform and the belt buckles and such. Nothing fancy. And the big goofy dark helmet. So there's that. And next up we have the Imperial Gunner. I always thought of these as Death Star gunners, but that of course, you know, doesn't have to be. So this person can be manning the guns of the Star Destroyer, and they have a small pistol. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that on board the Star Destroyer there, but hey, what do I know? They have two little red and blue dots there on the top of the helmet, which I like a lot. That's just one of those tiny details that you just barely even notice or register, but is there. And again, a slightly different skin tone for this one. So this is not the same as the olive. This is the medium nougat flesh color, and a female face here with the kind of angry, scowly expression on it. So that's really nice. No double-sided one for this though, even though it is inside of a helmet. Oh well. I do believe this is a pre-existing face head print from a previous figure, so it's probably why they didn't include the double-sided face on that one. And again, same deal here, very standard kind of printing with a few bits of fabric outline and some wrinkles, nothing fancy, but a really solid background trooper to have. Then we have our Stormtrooper here, and this is once again a unique skin tone compared to the others, and she's got the sort of annoyed but not like scowling angry face, so that's again a nice variation. No back printing for that one. But yeah, I really like the sheer range of skin tones that we're getting here for this. What I complained about in one of my previous videos is that for collectors to have to collect like 5 Stormtroopers that are outwardly the same but each have a different head print, that's annoying. But in a case like this where you have all unique minifigures in a single set, I think it's absolutely fantastic to include as many different variations of skin tone, gender, and expression as humanly possible. I mean, not only is it just nice to have more inclusivity, but it just makes it super useful to, you know, as a parts pack to be able to make custom figures out of. So yeah, absolutely great. I love that we're not just getting angry clone heads anymore. Those are definitely by the wayside now, and that's great. So yeah, this is the standard modern Stormtrooper. Nothing fancy on the exterior there to call out, and it's got the long style of what people call the Family Guy helmet, but I don't mind that one. I like it. And last up, we have Cal Kestis on his little 25 years display plaque, so I will just get rid of that really quick. And it's kind of crazy how long I've waited for an official Cal Kestis minifigure from LEGO, and it just tells you how good this set is that it's not even, for me, the main event of this set. So the Cal Kestis himself looks great. No poncho, no BD1. Luckily, we have already gotten some ponchos and a BD1 in the past. And we've also gotten a different BD droid, so you can swap it out for a blue color scheme if you want to. But he looks great with all of his little pouches and leather straps and kind of undervest and belt details there. So that's all the Cal Kestis stuff that you would want to see. He does have the accurate scarring detail on his face. I thought they might just leave that out, but that's really, really nice to see. So that's not a mistake over there. That is actually a scar. So Cal has been through a lot. And he's kind of got the scars to show it. And then he does come with the double-sided face there. Again, the range between placid and angry feels appropriate. Cal does spend most of his time either wandering around in the wilderness or hacking stormtroopers up or facing off against giant monsters. So that feels like the correct kind of level of facial range there. I really like the choice of hairpiece. I was kind of surprised. I thought it would be a slightly different hairpiece for this, but the way that this the red hair kind of swoops over and tucks in towards the back, that actually feels very Cal Kestis to me, and I'm actually really, really impressed with this hairpiece. And the fact that they give him the different color gloves, which again is some nice attention to detail, even though it would have been really nice to include not only a BD1, but a way to actually attach it to Cal's shoulder as well, like a little shoulder harness piece would have been great, but you know, we might be asking for too much. I'm just so happy to officially have a Cal Kestis figure in my collection. So my closing thoughts, this is a $159 set that comes with 1,555 pieces, so price to part ratio is looking good, and it comes with a bunch of really useful figures, which I like. I mean, you basically have a full spread of Imperial standard trooper types here, which is absolutely great. The model itself looks great, and it has very useful features, the spring-loaded shooter integration, the cannons, the storage back here for the spring-loaded shooter bolts, the fact that this all comes off and has an integrated carry handle inside of here, and the full interior that just spreads wide open, and the optional removable wings. All of that just feels absolutely perfectly dialed in to what a Lego set should be and what I personally want to see from the theme. It's a play set, it's a display set, it has great minifigures, it has great action features. It's all done right. And I think that you really can't complain as far as the value. I think you are getting your value for money with this set, because it's not just a bunch of tiny pieces. There are many tiny pieces, right, to create the little details, but there are lots of huge Technic pieces and panel pieces and large plates and wedge plates, the larger type, that are integrated in here. And it's not a quick build. I spent probably, I think, 4 hours building this, and I was going quickly because I wanted to get this review out for you guys as quick as possible. So it's definitely a substantive building experience that I think you will have fun having this set for years to come. I mean, the last official starter story, I believe, was 10 years ago in playset scale. And I think they probably won't need to do another one for 10 more years, because this is, it just does everything that it needs to do. Another thing that I think is really cool is you could probably find a way to fairly easily hang this from a ceiling if you have a kid's room that you're interested in hanging toys from the ceiling. I could see that the Technic structure that is within here that allows for the carry handle to work, there's probably several really good attachment points in there to loop around some fishing wire and have this easily hang off of the ceiling. The center of gravity is like right here at the handle, so it's absolutely perfect. So you kind of already have a natural spot to investigate, to hang wire from. And I think that's absolutely great too. And you probably also have a really easy time integrating a lighting kit into this, because all of these elements, they're just sort of plugged in back here, and there's a lot of kind of hollow space around. So you could really, you could probably find a lighting kit fairly easily to get these engines lit up, and even these little smaller ones off to the side. There's a lot of third-party companies out there doing lighting kits that are of really excellent quality. So you really have so many options to expand upon this and make this just the ultimate playset Star Destroyer set that you could ever possibly need. So I think for the price, for the experience that you get building it, and for the final product, this is an absolute total win for Lego. I'm super, super happy with it. Some of the other sets in the line have been a little bit more of a miss for me. I'll get into those in the reviews, but I think that this one absolutely hits the mark on every single metric for me. So kudos to the designer, kudos for Lego for putting out an absolutely banger product in 2024, when there's just so much Lego Star Wars coming out that it's it is kind of hard to keep the quality as high as this. So I'm really impressed. So yeah, that's going to be my thoughts for today. This is an independent, non-sponsored review. I'm not getting any kickbacks from Lego for praising the heck out of this thing. I know I have just glazed it up for the last however long it's been that I've been shooting this review, but I promise you, this is just something that I'm passionate about, that I actually genuinely love having in my collection. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have so many more reviews on the way, so make sure to look out for those in the coming days. I will be trying to review as much of the current wave of Lego Star Wars as I can. I would love to be able to review other sets from other themes, but I just simply don't have the money. Lego is putting out so many products at such a high rate that I just simply will not be able to keep up. But I'm focusing, I'm staying in my lane. Lego Star Wars is what I know and what I love, so I'm just kind of sticking to those for the reviews, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. So thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you on the next video, and may the Force be with you.